The man who understands control does not need to shout. The woman who understands control does not need to threaten. The one who masters control often appears calm, even kind, even powerless. And yet, they decide outcomes long before anyone else realizes a game is being played. Tonight, I am not here to teach you how to dominate others. That is crude, temporary, and ultimately self-destructive. I am here to speak about something far more dangerous, the architecture of control, how it is built, how it is maintained, how it is lost, and why those who never understand it spend their lives reacting, while others quietly rule the direction of events. Part 1. The illusion of freedom. Most people believe they are free. They choose their words. They choose their careers. They choose their partners. They choose their opinions. Or so they think. But watch closely. Their emotions are triggered on command. Their outrage is scheduled. Their attention is rented by algorithms. Their desires are pre-installed. Control rarely announces itself. It whispers. The greatest trick ever played was convincing people that control looks like chains. Chains are obvious. Chains invite rebellion. Real control feels like choice. If I allow you to believe you chose the path I wanted you to walk, you would defend it passionately, even against evidence. That is not oppression. That is engineering. Part 2. Why Forces for Fools. Machiavelli was misunderstood. He was not praising cruelty. He was warning against stupidity. Force is loud. Force creates enemies. Force leaves fingerprints. The impatient reach for power with their hands. The wise use structure. A tyrant commands obedience. A strategist designs environments where obedience feels natural. Ask yourself, why does a room fall silent when one person enters? Why does one voice carry weight while another begs for attention? Why do some people never need to explain themselves? Because control is not exerted, it is assumed. Part 3. Self-control. The first throne before you attempt to influence another human being. You must confront an uncomfortable reality. Anyone who cannot control themselves is already owned. Owned by impulse. Owned by validation. Owned by anger. Owned by fear of abandonment. You cannot command respect if your emotions are negotiable. You cannot shape outcomes if your reactions are predictable. The Machiavellian does not eliminate emotion, they delay it. They pause where others explode. They listen where others interrupt. They withhold where others overshare. And in that pause, power accumulates. Silence is not emptiness. Silence is leverage. Part 4. Perception is the real battlefield. Reality is less important than interpretation. This unsettles people, but it explains everything. Two men can perform the same action. One is praised as decisive, the other condemned as reckless. Why? Perception. Control perception, and you no longer need to argue facts. This is why leaders speak in symbols. Why power dresses simply. Why confidence never rushes. People do not follow logic. They follow certainty. And certainty is not knowing everything. It is never appearing unsure. Part 5. The art of withholding. Most people talk themselves into weakness. They explain too much. Apologize too early. Reveal too quickly. Information is currency. Spend it recklessly and you are poor. The controlled individual understands this rule. The less you say, the more others project. Mystery creates gravity. Predictability creates boredom. Overexposure creates contempt. You do not need to be understood by everyone. You only need to be unavoidable. Part 6. Control without appearing controlling. The most refined form of control is invisible. It looks like delegation. It feels like freedom. It sounds like encouragement. You do not say, do this. You say, what do you think is the best move? And when they choose correctly, you reward them. When they choose incorrectly, the environment corrects them, not you. This preserves your image while shaping behavior. Remember, people resent domination. They revere guidance. Part 7. When TO release control. Here is where amateurs fail. They cling. They overmanage. They micromanage. They suffocate. True power knows when to step back. Sometimes allowing chaos exposes weakness in others. Sometimes silence forces truth to surface. Sometimes losing a battle reveals who was never loyal. Control is not rigidity. It is timing. Closing. The final principle, let me leave you with the final Machiavellian truth. You do not control people. You control conditions. You do not dominate outcomes. You prepare inevitabilities. And above all, if you seek to rule others before ruling yourself, you will become a servant to your own blind spots. Control is not about cruelty. It is about clarity, not about manipulation, but mastery, the quiet kind, the kind no one sees coming.